Timothy Weah, too, has been frozen, if that's the way you want to put it, from Juventus participation after ongoing talks with Nottingham Forest had initially led to an agreement for the winger's transfer. To his rejection of the offer of around $25.7 million, Weah opted out to wait for other opportunities outside of Juventus. Let's see what his agent said here, saying this is shameful. While I am here, nobody will push my players to go play right or left like a puppet. Case, what are your thoughts on this for Tim Weah?
Well, I think all of us have been in situations where if a transfer's there, and clearly, Timothy Weah, for the majority of his time at Juventus, has been a squad player, and I think they kind of feel that if they could get that kind of money for a player that they don't necessarily see as a player that's going to take them to the next level or back to what Juventus are expected to be, and they could get some good money for Timothy and kind of move some stuff around. I guess the surprise for me is that more often than not, before a club goes to all that trouble to negotiate that much with another entity, usually they talk to their player and see if this is something that they're interested in. So I think there's a lot of fault here. I guess I'm a little bit surprised too when a team like like your club Juventus makes that decision. You kind of know that this is going to happen if you then snub that. I mean, that's normal. I've seen that with multiple players who've a club wanted out. They get an opportunity for them. That player turns it down, and the next thing you know, they're training with the youth team. They're not even with the first team anymore. They're not even in the first team training ground anymore. So, yes, some clubs can be a little vindictive when something like this happens. Timothy Weah, fully in his right to turn this down, but sometimes you have to look at the ramifications if you do.
Casey's absolutely right. I've actually had this happen to me myself. It happened when I was playing in Cholos, where I'm no longer part of the first team. They want to get rid of me. I have a contract, and they ostracized me from the team, from the club. I got to train with the second division team in a different facility. I'm not allowed in the first team training ground nor the locker rooms. They freeze you out trying to get the player to buckle, to fold,
right.
To do what they want. And the player has the leverage here. Now, Timothy Weah has value, but how much value? And how much value in a World Cup year? What you don't want is a situation where you stay at Juventus and they completely freeze you out, and now you're not playing. And now you got to wait a whole nother transfer window, and you lose 6 months. So if you're Timothy Weah, you absolutely must make sure that it's Nottingham Forest is not a situation you want. It's a situation you think is not beneficial to you in any type of way. I think he's making the right move here.
Okay.
I don't know if the Premier League right now, that's a big jump for him. He wasn't playing at Juventus, and when he was playing, he was a left back, right back. He wasn't a consistent player. I don't know if making that type of leap to the Premier League right now with a coach like Nuno Espírito Santos, which is a very demanding type of individual, is the right move for Timothy Weah. So whatever move he makes has to be the right one. You're a year out from your second World Cup. You're still a young player, but you got to make sure that you're playing consistently. It's very important. If he doesn't feel that's going to be the case in Nottingham Forest, you should absolutely not go there. But there are consequences.